boys and girls, good morning. I have the book Woolbur, and it is by Leslie Holokoski. Okay, this is a really cute book. I'm wondering if you guys can figure out at the end of this, if you can figure out the moral of the story. Remember, the moral of the story is what the author is trying to teach us, and a lot of fiction books have morals to their stories. Woolbur. Woolbur had a little trouble with the herd today, said Ma. What happened? Asked Pa. I don't want to stand still with the sheep, said Woolbur. I ran with the dogs instead. But those dogs are half wild, said Pa. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? They'll run circles around you, said Ma. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? Don't worry, said Grandpa. But Ma and Pa pulled on their wool all night long. You see, Ma is on the phone with Grandpa. Grandpa's at his house, and Ma and Pa are at their house. Woolbur had a little trouble in the shearing barn today, said Ma. What happened? Asked Pa. I don't want to shear my wool, said Woolbur. Being woolly feels nice. But it's springtime, said Pa. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? Your wool is so long, said Ma. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? Don't worry, said Grandpa. But Ma and Pa pulled on their wool all night long. What do you think it means, pull on their wool? I'm thinking it's like whenever you're nervous about something, some people might pick at their nails or bite their nails, or they might tap their fingers. I'm thinking that means that Ma and Pa are nervous. Woolbur had a little trouble carding wool today, said Ma. What happened? Asked Pa. I carded my own wool, said Woolbur. No more tangles. Look how crazy he looks. But sheep don't card wool on their bodies, said Pa. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? You look so different, said Ma. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? Don't worry, said Grandpa. But Ma and Pa pulled on their wool all night long. Woolbur had a little trouble spinning today, said Ma. What happened? Said Pa. I rode around the spinning wheel, said Woolbur. It was fun. But spinning is not supposed to be fun, said Pa. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? Your yarn is all loopy, said Ma. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? Don't worry, said Grandpa. But Ma and Pa pulled on their wool all night long. Seems like Ma and Pa call Grandpa every night and tell him of the wild things that Woolbur's doing because they're really worried about him. Woolbur had a little trouble dyeing wool today, said Ma. What happened? Asked Pa. Instead of dyeing the yarn, I dyed myself, said Woolbur. I like experimenting. You look unbelievable, said Pa. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? It will never wash out, said Ma. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? I hope that you guys are saying, isn't it great with me. I like it whenever we read books together and we all say the repetitive parts. I wish you guys were here with me so that we could do that. Don't worry, said Grandpa. But Ma and Pa pulled on their wool all night long. Woolbur had a little trouble weaving today, said Ma. What happened? Asked Pa. I put my head in the loom, said Woolbur, to weave my forelock. But that's not what you were shown, said Pa. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? It's unheard of, said Ma. I know, said Woolbur. Isn't it great? Don't worry, said Grandpa. But Ma and Pa pulled on their wool all night long. Finally, Ma and Pa took Woolbur aside and said, You must follow the flock, dear. It's what we sheep do. From now on, you will stay with the herd like everyone else. You will shear wool like everyone else. You will card wool like everyone else. You will spin wool like everyone else. You will dye wool like everyone else. And you will weave wool like everyone else. Oh, said Woolbur. Look at little Woolbur sitting by the tree. How do you think Woolbur is feeling? Woolbur is feeling.
Sad.
I think Nixon. I think he's probably sad. He thought and he thought all night long. Look, he's tossing and turning in his bed. He's not getting much sleep. He must be worried. From then on, Woolbur taught everyone to run with the dogs, to grow their wool, to card their own wool, to spin crazy yarn, to experiment with color. Look at all those sheep in there. And to weave their forelocks. I think that's funny. Ma and Pa put their heads in their hooves and sighed. Woolbur does not think like we do, said Ma. I know, said Pa. Now everyone looks like Woolbur and acts like Woolbur, said Ma. I know, said Pa. How will we ever find him? Look, they all look just the same now. They all look exactly like Woolbur. Don't worry, said Grandpa. And then look here. Here's Woolbur just knitting with yarn, just normal knitting. And then here's everyone else that he turned to be like he used to be. I want you to think about what the moral of this story is. Whenever I think about it, I notice that Woolbur was different in the beginning and he was fine with being different. He liked the way he was. And then I noticed that at the end, he's still acting a little bit different than everybody. But does Woolbur look sad about being different? I don't think so. I think he looks content, which means he's happy. He's just fine with being different. And I hope that you are just fine with the unique way that you were made and the differences that you have. Love you, boys and girls. See you later.